Sunday Sessions is back, and you know what time it is. It is time to get real, raw, and unfiltered about the Black experience in professional wrestling. If you are new here and you don't know what to do, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe so that you never miss an update and you never miss Sunday Sessions Volume 2 episode drop. Every episode is going to drop on a Sunday in February in honor of Black wrestlers and Black History Month. But around here, we Black 365, okay? We Black Monday through Sunday. We Black on Christmas Day. We Black on Jesus' birthday. It's all Black everything. Thank you for coming back, having these conversations with us. I can't wait to share all of my amazing guests with you for Volume 2. Stay tuned, make sure you don't miss an episode, and make sure you're following me on all social media so that you can stay tuned for all of the up-to-dates and back-to-scene information that will be dropping on all of my other platforms. Tonight in Sunday Sessions, Volume 2, Episode 5, we have 4 amazing, talented professional wrestling veterans, 80 years of combined professional wrestling experience on this call alone. I'm here with Mr. Nah Fam, Barrington Hughes, the incredible Huck, Will Huckaby, the definition of fly, Black G's, and the King Silverback, Mr. Ali Steele. Hi guys, thank you so much for being here.
Hey
Thanks
girl, what's going on?
What's going on, yo?
Hey,
Thanks for joining. As I mentioned, you guys are all my vets, so this is really important for me to have these conversations, not only so that people can get a sense of what our experience is like, but also so that people can get a sense of how the experience has changed over time. On this call alone, we have so many people who started at different points, so your experience is going to be a lot different from beginning through where you are now, because none of us are at the end of our careers. So we're going to be diving into that. And our topic tonight, our first one is going to be standards and practices. We'll get into what that means a little bit later. And our second topic is going to be all skin folk and kinfolk. Self-explanatory, but we will also get into that a little bit later. But for our historical moment, because education is elevation, we're going to talk about Aja Kong. I know everybody knows who that is. And if you don't, please make sure that you do your Googles and check your cage match, because she is my wrestling hero, and one of the women who honestly paved the way for my experience and the experience of many other Black women wrestlers in Japan. So I'm going to give you guys a little info about Kong. And if you guys have info that you know, feel free to jump in, because again, education is elevation, and I don't know what y'all know. I don't know your lives. But originally born Erika Shishido, she is Hafu, and in Japan, that means she's half Japanese, half something else. So her dad's actually Black. He's deceased, but he was in the military, and met her mom, and she was born September 25th in 1970. And she is actually the founder of Hypervisual Fighting Arson. Now, they are defunct. They are renamed AZ, which is run now by Yakumo Hota. But I don't know actually if she's doing that like as a continuous thing, or if like that was just a specialized thing she took over. But that was active from 97 to 2003. Their first event was called Virgin, and it was held in February of 2008 to a sold out crowd. She was actually the champion of my home company in Japan, World Women Pro Wrestling Dana. She was a heavyweight champion for 2 terms, and she was trained from her very Japan-centric. And so growing up, she had a lot of struggles being half Black and half Japanese. And her mom actually had to put her in karate to defend against being bullied, because she was bullied from about 5th grade until she graduated high school, just because she was very athletic and she was half Black. But now in wrestling, she's known as Aja Soma, which is like a very high regarded name that they give to someone in the wrestling community there. She was a part of the Atrocious Alliance. That's the heel stable that Dump Matsumoto founded. And she was actually the 1995 WWF Survivor Series winner. She was being built up at that time, if you remember, against Alondra Blaze. But when Alondra dumped the belt in the trash can, that kind of scrapped the whole buildup for her. And after that, the women's division was pretty much eradicated. So she lost her momentum over here in the States, but she's never stopped wrestling in Japan. She actively wrestles with Oz Academy, World Women Pro Wrestling Deanna, Sendai Girls, Seedling, so many promotions. She's so well known, respected, and regarded. In 2004, her and she was Amazing Kong's debut match in Japan. And they later on went to form a tag team called W Kong. And they defeated Shigusa Nagayo and Lioness Asuka for the AAAW Tag Championships in May of 2004. And more recently, y'all have seen her on AEW. I think it was her, Emmy, who was it? And Yuka, yes, her, Emmy, and Yuka versus Hikaru Shida, Ryo, and Ryo Mizunami for that tag match. And then back in February, she went all the way to the semis, but she lost to Ryo Mizunami again as well. Huge legend. One of the coolest people I have ever had the honor of sharing a ring with and meeting. I was a total creep when I met her in Japan because I was just very overwhelmed and starstruck. But she was very gracious to me, and I will always appreciate the doors that she opened for me as a Black woman in Japan, because up until that time, Kong was the only other Black woman who went over for such an extended period. And Aja Kong, was the one who opened that door for all of us. So that is our historical moment. Much blessings and grace and honor given to the amazing Aja Kong. So, who's that? Who's talking, guys?
That's me.
Yeah. Hop on, guys.
I was saying definitely,
yeah.
like definitely a legend in pro wrestling. I had no idea that she was half Black. I didn't know that at all. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? So I can imagine the struggle she went through her whole career, her whole life. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool to learn all of that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Huck.
I was gonna say, like, the fact that she's biracial, and the fact that I guess as a culture, as a community, as Black wrestlers, like, we've never embraced her and said, hey, she's one of us. It kind of brings up two questions. Like, is it one, just because we as Black people don't know that she's biracial, or is it two, is it kind of what I call the Rock rule, where it's, yeah, you're biracial, but you kind of
right
up your other race. I don't know which one it would be.
Honestly, with on this one, I don't believe a lot of us knew that she was biracial, because I didn't. I've seen her.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know that she was biracial.
She definitely is, like,
you look at a lot of people, you wonder.
What do you say, Dot?
I'm trying to figure out what he said.
Okay, Dot, you go, then Huck, you go. Rain it in.
Okay. Like, I just don't know, like, because as a community, we are, as Black wrestlers, we are, we're cultivating, you know what I mean? Like, if we see somebody else that's kind of struggling, we deal with them. You know what I mean? We fight with them like that. Like, we'll pull them aside, man, and try to bring them in, because I think all of us know we've all been shunned a little bit. We've all looked at it a little bit. I know I would have been proud. You know what I'm saying? I had no clue. I'm like him, man. I didn't know that she was biracial. I just thought she was brutal. You know what I mean? I was like, wow. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I take a little bit from it because she was forced to be a heel. You know what I mean? She was forced to be a heel because of her biracial coming.
Raise your hand if you were forced to be a heel because you're brown.
Hey, I can tell you now, I've been in this business 21 years, and for 21 years, they've been like, oh, he's the big Black guy. Hey, he's me. Don't get me wrong, I do it well, but it's been like that from straight out of training.
I'm about to say, I know Ali and G's definitely know this. Like, back 15 years ago, 16 years ago, when I broke in, like, there was two Black guys in the locker room. Either you had a tag team or they wrestled each other. And Ronnie, we had this conversation where a promoter actually told me, like, yo, I don't need more than one Black guy on the show because they're an attraction, like midgets or female wrestlers. And if I bring in another Black wrestler, I've got to get rid of you.
So is that what you have to do? That's what you.
Yeah, I mean, and like years ago when I came to CZW, the only other Black wrestler there was Ruckus. So of course, when I got to CZW, of course, you're going to put the two black guys together. You know what I'm saying? It all worked out, but you know what I'm saying? It's crazy how like that's the first thing you think. All right, we got two black guys. We got Ruckus and we got Little Ruckus here. You know what I'm saying? Put them both together. You know, it's crazy how like that's been the mindset where if it's wrestlers that's not black, you know what I'm saying? You can have like 20 to 30 of them, you know what I'm saying? And all of them pretty much all of them a lot of times they look alike, they have the same gimmick, they move the same, all of that. You know what I'm saying? But if you have like more than one black guy, it's like, oh well, we don't know what to do with you. Why don't you? Well, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me, you know? And
Hey,
that stuff still goes on to this day, you know?
when I broke in 2000, when I walked into fresh out of training, I'm gonna say that, fresh out of training, walking into a locker room, every white dude, with the exception of C.W. Anderson, had long hair or a mullet. They all were wearing those cargo pants, trying to be the Hardy Boys. Like it was all one look. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
And it was. Go ahead.
But I say when I broke in, everybody was wearing those pleather pants. And everybody like
The
and I
trash
wore them
bag
at one
looking
point
ones?
too. I
With the
Oh,
big
I had
legs?
yes,
some.
I wore the trash bag.
Hey, I
pants.
just pulled those out.
I wore the trash
I
bag.
had them
pants.
too. I had them
Yeah.
too.
Hey,
I had them because like when I started, yo, like I look like a straight backyarder though. You know what I'm saying? Because like when I started, I was real tiny and like when I started, I was like I'm never wearing tights. I'm never wearing trunks. It's not going to happen. Because you know what I'm saying? I was just tiny. I was small. Like then I was worried about what people would say if I wear tights and like trunks and all that. You know what I'm saying? Then it kept being told to me you gotta get some type of gear. You got to. You know what I'm saying? So I went with the pleather. I rocked the pleather for a while until you know what I'm saying until I started you know what I'm saying getting confident, started working on my body or whatever. Then I started looking more professional. But at first though, it was backyarder, then the pleather. You know what I'm saying?
I started off as a backyard.
Barrington, when you broke in, what was the climate like for Black wrestlers?
I broke in about a decade after all of these gentlemen here in 2011. It was interesting. It was a very volatile environment. Wasn't very welcoming of Black people or plus size people like myself. I'll say maybe the first 3 years, like Florida was not fucking with me at all. At all. If I wasn't doing the angry villain or the dancing fat man, they wasn't trying to book me. Straight
Yes. Dancing.
beat the fuck up because they felt like you don't belong here. Get the fuck out of here. You know
I
what I mean?
remember. Can I say something? I remember seeing Barrington or seeing like pictures of video of Barrington around 2012, 2013. And like he was like, of course he's huge. And in my mind, I think because I'd been conditioned, I automatically be like, oh man, this is like he's like Kamala or you'll say any other big Black wrestler like Vader. And I remember talking to a promoter in North Carolina about bringing in Barrington and working. It's like, hey, we can put him with whoever. You know what I'm saying? And just have him working with me. And at the time, I think I was teaming up with this white guy, whatever. And the promoter was just like, what are we gonna do with him? You know, there was like we want a big Black guy, we can get the gorillas. And I never understand what they talk about, man, because it's like at his size, putting
I'm
this
off
box.
of Huck.
Y'all got a lot of snow up there, Ford? Okay.
Oh, pick back up. Okay. All right. I know you were like mid thought, but is there any way we can kind of roll that back so I can kind of splice it together?
Yeah, actually.
You know, around about when you heard the recording stopped.
Breaking stereotypes.
Well, we were talking about getting together and actually getting with somebody that could actually move also, who was supposed to be stereotypically the big Black man who, like he said, dances and but he moves well. And stereotypically, we have to be angry about something. And normally it's about a white guy or whatever. It can't just be about we're going for the title like everybody else, or we're trying to we want the prestige of being a champion. It can't be that. But I was told a couple of times, like, "Hey man, we're gonna bring him in. He's huge. You know, he's a phenomenal worker." I wanted it. I was like, "Please," but then it never happened, man. So, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but it was a dream, bro.
It was too much blackness in one room.
Right.
Well, that's probably
too much
exactly what it was, though.
Hey, Ronnie, I'm gonna tell you a fun fact. You ready?
What?
So I'm gonna tell you, here's a fun fact. Me and Ali have only been in the ring, shared the ring one time. One time we've shared the ring. Like we've only been in the ring together one time.
What was it?
How?
ACPW?
It was
you lived
where were
here.
you at, Ali? We was down
That
in
was
like
down in
Fayetteville.
Roseboro or something like that, wasn't it?
Like
ACPW?
Yeah, like down in like the Fayetteville area. Like really, it was one match.
Yeah.
I was super excited. Like of course he's the vet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, just tell me what to do, tell me what to be, and I'll be there. And Ali was like, no, let's get some of your stuff in too. So like Ali lets me like give him this huge bump and stuff, man. I take the huge right hand, which I've kind of stolen from him in my later years and stuff. I'm kind of taking the punch from him because now my punch looks better. But piggybacking on what he said was like, you would have thought if me and Ali and like me and Joe Black and then the Gorillas would have came out in like 2017, 2018.
Oh God.
Those two feuds would have been up and down the East Coast, I think. You know what I'm saying? Because we were booked based on our talent and not on our skin color. And the fact that we all kind of came into the business around 2000, 2005, it was, it's 4 black guys. Either they're a stable like the Nation of Domination, which is what like every white promoter says. When they get black guys together, like, well, you can be like our version of the Nation of Domination.
They've said that so many times about the Gorillas. Everything's got to be like the Nation.
Yeah, so either we would have been a stable or they would have gotten rid of one of us. You know what I'm saying? And it's a shame that luckily this generation of wrestlers and stuff and promoters and bookers are smarter than that. And they book talent based on talent in most places. It just goes to show like 15, 20 years ago, this group of gentlemen, myself, Ali, Barrington, and Black G's and stuff, like we never been allowed to be in the same locker room.
Right. So you hit on something that's really prevalent, but only with us, is that quota. Is there, but there's never a quota. You can look at 85 generic white wrestler number 1 with the same high spots, trunks, knee pads, and boots, and that's the card. And then everyone wants black wrestlers for next month. Everybody wants one match with maybe one wrestler who's black, or if it's 2 black wrestlers, there has to be some sort of like really deep in conflict, dramatic story told that's epic of black versus black. Like it can never be a good match. It can't ever be a good story. It always has to be extra, whereas most of our white counterparts don't face that. So back in when y'all broke in, what was that like? I'm going to start with G's and then I'll hop to Ali.
Well, I mean, like for years, I mean, like even before I got in, and then along when I got in, it was always like the characters that black guys could have it's like the athletic black guy or the angry black guy. You know what I'm saying? It's never the it was never the intelligent one. You know what I'm saying? If it was the black guy that's trying to be the intelligent black guy, it was just looked at like, nobody's going to believe that. You know what I mean? And that's crazy. You know what I mean? I mean, luckily it's not like that now, but back then it definitely was. Like you could if you told a promoter that this is the gimmick I want, you know what I'm saying? And you show and the character is you wearing a suit, like how Hurt Business is now. Like back when I came in, like if any black guy wanted to do that, like it wouldn't have been accepted. You know what I'm saying? It was because there was a lot of closed-mindedness back then. You know what I mean? And then it was just crazy. It was frustrating. Like I've had like years of frustration because I'll want to do ideas and it's like frowned upon, and then somebody else will get to do that idea that doesn't look like us. You know what I mean? So it was just like really crazy, a lot of closed-mindedness, a lot of BS when I started, you know, that I'm sure all of y'all dealt with, you know.
I want to piggyback on what he said. I hate to say I'm piggybacking because I'm damn near 400 pounds, but he hit the nail on the head. When I started in 2000, they you got to pick a name. Okay. So I picked Ali Steele. He's faces for. It was a Super Bowl, Ali Steele. Simple, right? Well, then they go, well, what's your gimmick going to be? And then they hit me with what you said. Well, you could always do the athletic gimmick. I didn't know. I was fresh in. So I was like, athletic gimmick. Then I was like, oh, I'll be a boxer. Well, I get what a couple of guys outside of this training facility, they tell me, write my backstory. And this is what I tell everybody that I talk to now, the young guys coming up, write your backstory. So I write my backstory out and all this other crap. Well, all they could see, everybody, they wanted me to be this. At first, they wanted me to be like the bad. They said, oh, well, if you're going to be a boxer, why don't you be like Mike Tyson? Now, they didn't want me to be super fierce and quick and fast and athletic and I'm tenacious in the ring. They wanted me to be all the bad stuff that Mike was. They wanted me to go around trying to bite people and do all this dirty stuff. That's what they wanted me to do. Now, if I'm not going to do that, well, you can be like Muhammad Ali, but just do the Parkinson side. Do his talk real funny and pick up on all his deficiencies now that he's sick. Really? What about me? Yeah, yeah. And you know where I'm coming from. So right. Here's the thing it was cool to be like a stereotypical kind of gimmick, right? Big, mean, all this stuff, but be dumb. I kept wanting to do like this cunning, kind of smart, kind of, I'm more slick than I am Neanderthalish. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go in and I'm not mad at you because you're white, or I'm not mad at you because you took my EBT card. What I'm mad at you is because we have a business deal. You were supposed to pay me however much money to get this title, or hey, I want to be a hitman for hire like they do with everybody else. Something that was more cunning. So I learned real fast that I played the game. When I realized I could get on my own and do what I wanted, I did that. Now you have a lot of promoters that would put you, like he said, when you get into a promotion, you walk into the locker room. I was doing singles for 11 years. You know what I mean? So I walk in. Every time you walk in, and like you said, if there's more than one black person there, all of a sudden you're in a faction. What? Now, I always took it as a lot of times it'd be new guys, right? So if you get me in there with some new guys, I'm going to do what I do, and that's pass on every piece of knowledge that I have onto this new guy to try to make him better. So that when he leaves out of here, he goes into the next show with some kind of game, basically, and making himself better so that we can all look better. And I've always done that part. But it absolutely pissed me off beyond measure that you could not be the smart guy. You, like right. He said, you couldn't wear a suit. You couldn't come through. Hell, I just had recently. I wanted to go out to a show, congratulate some guys for winning and beating us, the Gorillas. I wanted to pull the whole Ric Flair and Terry Funk. Go out, congratulate them, tell them all that stuff. I mean, it was going to be, you'd have been proud, Ronnie. It was going to be a production. I was going to put on an Emmy. Hey, I was going to get an Oscar.
You know, I'm about.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to perform. Nobody could see past it. Nobody could see the two that we were dealing with. They couldn't see it. They just wanted us to just do a run in. That's what angry black guys do. Just do a run in.
Right.
They didn't want to sit there and let me tell them, hey, congratulations, because they didn't know, not only did they take our titles in that promotion, we had history. A couple months prior, they had taken titles from us in Virginia. So we had all kinds of stuff we could have talked about.
Right. A story could be told.
The story could be told, man. But it was like, just be the angry gorillas. Now that's partially our fault for calling ourselves gorillas, but still, I don't know. I mean, just because, come on, man. I don't know, but it's been like that, and I had to learn really fast to play the game with them, because there's one thing about this game here now. It's not the old school product that it was. So as many rights as they've given everybody else, we can stand up and we can be unapologetically Black. We can be unapologetically whoever we want to be. So I say to Jesus, hey, if it's something that you want to do, bro, do it. Because they can't stop you now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, when we started the Gorillas, go ahead.
But you still new, you still green. You haven't proven yourself, so you sort of got to deal with the BS for a while. But then, as you get better, as you get more confident, you get your name out there more, and then hell, as you just get to the point where you like, nah, I'm not dealing with it anymore. You do you, and then you end up being looked at like a hothead. You looked at as unprofessional, even if you're not doing anything unprofessional. You know what I'm saying? Like it could, and this is what I've dealt with for years. Like you could just be you could just have like a dominating presence on the mic and in the locker room or whatever. And you're not even trying to be that way. That's just how you are as a man. You know what I'm saying? So people see that and they get scared. So and a lot of times they haven't even had an interaction with you. They haven't had a negative interaction with you. They just scared of you. So they put it out there like, oh yeah, he's a problem. And they never even talk to you. And then friends of theirs will believe it. And then friends of theirs will believe it. Next thing you know, you're trying to get on these different shows, and your messages get left on read, or you know what I'm saying, you just don't get booked. And it's because somebody said something about you, and it's a lie. That's happened a lot. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. It's crazy how, like, if you're like strong at talking, getting your point across, people that's on our side of the guardrail, they look at you as a problem. Like the fans are supposed to think that. We're in the same business. The camera is on. You know we playing a character when the camera is on, right? You know it's a work, right? You know what I mean? Right. But it's a lot of clowns in this game, man. And it's unfortunate. It's ridiculous. And then a lot of times,
what the streets be saying, Huck, about you.
Oh, I'm about to say, Ronnie, who's that sound like, Ronnie?
I was about to say, that sound like you. That don't sound like me. I don't know. That sound like you. That sound like you.
He just spoke about my entire wrestling career. Jeez, I swear that's exactly my entire wrestling career. Like when I broke in, it was black guys was one of two things. And I tell people, either you were Tupac or you were Carlton Banks. When I first broke into the business, I had this gimmick that was like remix and stuff. And I came out, I literally came out wearing like a custom tee that had my gimmick name on, that had like on Dickies shorts. You know what I'm saying? And I came out wrestling like in the Air Force Ones, because that's what I wore. And then I got gear or whatever. And then the promoter, the booker was like, we need to change your gimmick. Well, actually, I wanted to change my gimmick. Because, my favorite wrestlers are Arn Anderson and Lex Luger and guys like that. And I was like, well, can I just be a dope wrestler? And they were like, no, you got to have a gimmick. And so they made me the All-American African-American. And so I was like Carlton Banks.
We all just looked at you like, please elaborate on what that means, because I'm very...
Yes, please, because I didn't know. I didn't know that you were the All-American African-American.
I was the All-American African-American.
So is that
that's awesome.
Is that Uncle Tom? Like what?
How? I was like Kerwin White for black people. I hated it so bad. And every time I tried to get out of it, like the promoter was just like, no. And they were like, if you want to do something else, you just do something else, do it somewhere else. And that's really how I ended up started traveling to like Tennessee and eventually to Georgia, where like I went to Georgia. And I wish all of you guys I wish somebody would have videotaped my expression in my face when I first walked into a locker room in Georgia, in Atlanta, where, you know, being from North Carolina, it was like 2, maybe 3 black wrestlers, and that was it. And then going to Georgia, and there was 4, maybe 5 white faces in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? And they all had
Shout out
different
to
gimmicks.
Atlanta in general. I always
But this was like 10, 12 years ago, Ronnie. Was like they all had different gimmicks. They weren't all the stereotypical black guys. They were just dope ass wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? And their gimmick was the fact that they were dope wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? And when I came back to North Carolina and I spoke out and was like, hey, well, this is what's going on in Tennessee, and this is what's going on in Georgia and West Virginia and all these other places I went to, I was seen as a troublemaker for speaking out. And then because
that's true. I was told that you were an asshole when I first broke in, and to watch out for you because you were a bad guy. And then when somehow I got conned into that match with you, details still unclear.
I can tell you how. I can tell you how, Ronnie.
I was told that you were gonna beat my ass and you were gonna do this and that, and that you took liberties with people and you were gonna do this and the third, and I was legitimately like, so listen, I have popped off and now I'm in a match, and apparently he's a shooter. So what
Ronnie,
do I do? You literally were the reason they taught me how to shoot.
Ronnie,
from then on, they were like, no, that's not going to happen. He's not going to shoot on you. We'll teach you everything, how to protect yourself. So that's when I learned how to protect myself and all the counter moves to our holds, so that if you got crazy, I knew what to do. Long story short, you were nothing like, no, you're an asshole for sure, but you were nothing like what.
Ronnie.
I will never forgive you for Nigga Lucha and 2 weeks in Atlanta. Okay, so
hold on.
Okay?
We'll talk about that.
No,
we'll talk about that.
Black women, Huckaby. Okay?
Hold on. Let's talk about that match, because Ali and G's and them, and a lot of people need to hear about this. All right, you want to know how that match came about, Ronnie?
I was an innocent rookie.
Do you want to know seriously? Do you want to know how that match came about?
I do, because I just remember it was on Twitter, and then you inboxed me, and it was happening, and I was like,
here's what. Anybody that knows, like anybody who knows me knows that I'm willing to give anybody a shot, especially young black wrestlers. And so me and you had the kind of like that little back and forth on Twitter and stuff. And you were like, you kind of challenged me to a match, or I challenged you. I don't know. It's been so long ago. But it came out to a point where it's like, anytime, any place, let's make it happen. And so I was like, all right, cool. And so I was very good friends with the promoters and the bookers of this company that ran in Elizabeth City. Evolution Pro, what was it? New Evolution Wrestling or something.
NEW, yeah.
Yeah, NEW. And so I talked to them about bringing you in for a match. And the promoter, one of the promoters, who was a female, was not big on female wrestlers whatsoever. She felt that nobody was going to come to see female wrestlers whatsoever. And I was like, no, Ronnie's a really good fucking wrestler. Like, she can really go, and she can go with women and she can go with men. I was like, I believe in Roni Nicole so much that you can give her my pay for the night, and I will work for free just so you can give her a shot. Because I promise you, when you see her, you will love her. And so literally and legitimately, I right hand to God, Ronnie, I basically paid for us to have that match because I believed in you so much, because I believed in your talent so much. And I believe that if people would just be willing to look at you and give you a fair shot, that they would see in you what I saw in you. And so that's why I gave you so much shit leading up to the match.
You were not supposed to do this on Sunday sessions. Okay.
Are you crying?
No, but like now I've got like feelings, and I like care about you, and I'm so grateful, and I appreciate you, and now like I can't call you an asshole and like insult you like I was planning on doing for the rest.
But that's getting to what Jesus is saying. Is like, people, I've gotten such a bad reputation, especially in my home state of North Carolina, for being an asshole and for being being a shooter and being so aggressive, and people don't understand that my assholishness and my aggression that comes from my passion and my love, not only for pro wrestling, but for black wrestlers in general, and wanting them to succeed. Because before I got into pro wrestling, I was a grown man. I'd already been in the military. I already had a family with kids. Like, I was already a grown man. So I understood how the world worked. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
when and unlike any other sport, and I think that G's, Nolly, and Barrington will both understand. In professional, I've always tried to use my little bit of power to help young upcoming wrestlers. And there's not only you, Ronnie, but there's been several wrestlers that I've wrestled on shows that I've worked for free and given up my pay just to get them on the show because I had faith in their potential.
And you're also creating a way to break those barriers, like you mentioned, of people not wanting to give Black wrestlers a shot back in that time. And sometimes to certain promotions, still a degree now, where they won't take the chance. So you have to make the chance yourself.
Why they call you a shitty wrestler, Tony
right.
Khan?
Oh, let's Barrington, you're about to jump in.
I don't know where to go from there.
Don't call out Tony Khan like I did.
You know, Florida is like it's the South, but it's kind of its own contained system, so to speak. So for you, was your like experience within coming in and having people take a liberties with you and shit, like, was anyone opening doors for you there, or were you that, like Huckaby, were you the door opener for Florida? And you know, as you got out, because you had a huge run at MLW, like you've been around, you know.
All things considered, I opened doors for myself. You know, it was to a point where I was about 3 years in, and nobody on the East Coast of Florida, you know, Orlando on down, did not want to fuck with me at all. I was damaged goods from jump. When I first broke in, they gave me the typical big man, don't say anything, Mr. Hughes type gimmick before I changed my name to Barrington Hughes. And I dealt with that shit for 6 months. And then me and the guy that I was managing had a really nasty personal falling out. After that, changed the name, started doing my own thing. And no, it just, you know, people were taking advantage of me because they felt like I had an ego. And how dare you, when this was given to you, and you go and change your name and change your gimmick and think you're somebody, and kind of going back to what G said about being the intelligent Black wrestler. I did that. I wore the suit. I was basically Wilson Fisk my first year and a half, and nobody knew what to do with it. Literally nobody. Everybody wanted to get me out of the suits, and even one promoter wanted to turn me into a cowboy gimmick and call me Black Angus. That's on some fetishy bullshit, but we're not even going to get into that shit right now.
I'm sorry, did you say Black Angus as in the beef?
He a Hardee's burger.
Listen, he was being
They
for
should have
real.
just called him.
No, he was.
They should have just called him Carl Jr. if they're gonna do that.
He was He was 100% dead honest. Like,
wow.
I bullshit you not. It was bad. It was real bad. Even when I was doing the suit thing, like I started up a faction, like a rookie 2 shows in, and I'm already building this faction, and like they saw the reaction and they took it away from me just that quickly. They're like, "Oh, we don't know if we want to do this yet." Da, da, da. Needs to say 3-4 more shows down the line, they do the exact same thing, repackaged under a lighter hue and a different name.
The great rebranding.
Oh, absolutely.
The great lightening, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that happened. After 3 years, I started getting the "you're difficult to work with" mantra, and I took it upon myself to go to the West Coast of Florida. I had to basically wrestle for pennies, but it gave me the opportunity to work against guys that wanted to work with me, get the reputation up, you know, in a positive light, and reintroduce myself to the world as, no, this guy can fucking, you know, he's halfway decent. He can fucking go. And that started opening more doors for me to get out of state, because that was probably one of the best things to happen, was for me to be restricted from being in that comfort zone, all things considered. Because if I would have been there, I wouldn't have looked beyond what was already in front of me and what was already provided to want more, to want better for myself, and to want better for others that may follow behind me. So I was able to travel to Georgia, to Pennsylvania, New York, the Carolinas, Chicago, you know, shit like that, where everybody's like, how the hell is he doing this? And nobody knows who he is. I'm like, just doing my fucking thing. Leave me the fuck alone. Let me do my thing. That was it.
So raise your hand if, because you valued yourself, you wouldn't take pennies for pay and you want your match to be of a high caliber. You were branded as difficult to work with. Boop. So that's unanimous. And I find that so interesting because individuals who are white and who are genuinely difficult to work with don't essentially get blacklisted or blackballed in the same way. Yes, Ali.
I had a reputation for being an asshole as well. I had a reputation for flipping out, or putting my hands on. It's always after giving somebody chances and chances and chances, and when you're doing this stuff, like you go into when you're working in a promotion with somebody, and every time you go, they're putting you with this person, and you're saying they're calling it a program, but this person is going out there. Now you're billing this guy as being whatever he is, right? And after the first couple of years, I never looked back at people and took what they were saying for me to do it for me. Like I understood off gate, I'm not gonna get it from anybody else. I'm gonna have to make me be who I'm supposed to be, and who's gonna, like, they can't tell me, because after the whole oh man, just do an athletic gimmick, or just do this. And every time I would talk and try to bounce ideas off of people, they always had, like, if my idea was hitting here and I was looking at trying to hit higher, everybody else's ideas for me were hitting down near the knees. And I'm going, is this all y'all really expect? So my attitude, I was told I had an ego. I thought I was somebody, just like we've been talking about. But it always came from just wanting, I guess I looked at it because I went homeless for this business. You know what I'm saying? I spent money trying to get trained on this business. And I'm watching people walk around here, coming in the door, getting paid $20, you know what I'm saying, $10 just to get on the show. But then you're replacing me with him. You know what I'm saying? But then you turn around with a name coming in and you're spending your whole budget on the name. Training, snack car, living in the ring. I'm paying dues. You know what I'm saying? And I know what I did. You know what I mean? So now when I want something to be okay, and I want it to be the right way, and I want it to be done the right way, and I'm expecting this person here who's supposed to be doing it like I'm doing it to know what he's doing, and he falls through the damn loophole in the match. And then I wound up having to beat his ass and protect the business that you guys are saying we're supposed to protect. Now it's, oh, he has an ego and he has anger issues, but I'm gonna be real, I kind of don't mind it when it comes to that, because once that reputation got out there, I never had anybody else try me in the ring, never had anybody else try to take liberties with me. Promoters, they knew for a fact when they said this is the amount of money you're gonna give me, they knew exactly what it was. And I was professional. So I would come in and I would do what I would do, and I'd shake the hands and I would, meet everybody, and then I would do the classical heel thing. I would let all the faces have the room. I'd stay in the back, like I would be the professional. You just better have my shit when you're supposed to have it. And they understood that. You know what I mean? They understood that shit. And then the workers and the people that would get in the ring with me, they understood that too. The ones that really know me and understand me, they are appreciative. And I've said this on another interview before. That ain't shit you taking from me in that ring, because I ain't found a motherfucker that could do it. But everything that you want, I will give to you, as long as it makes sense.
I'll take it from you. I'll take it from you.
Hey, always trying to take
Huck. Hey, Ronnie, Huck been trying to take shit from me for a lot of years.
I want you to give him that. I want you to give him that big old overhand, please.
I got a question for Jeezy. I really do, because I feel like when Jeezy came to Atlanta for AWE, I was like the only person in the building that marked out huge for the church's money, and like I was lucky enough to like to commentate that match. And like it's very few times I've ever marked out for a wrestler. And like G's was one of the few people I like super marked out for. But G's, because like we all work in the South and stuff. And so you're up in the upper Midwest, the upper East Coast. We've seen what happened to like Swole with AEW and stuff, and like 1 minute they love you, the next minute they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like being
there's still a few that are sprinkled here and there that they're a bunch of know-it-alls, but it's like I can tell by like how they carry themselves in their age range that they're new and they're real impressionable. So they just allowing people that don't have their best interest to just get in their head. You know what I mean? So I just look at it like this young cat, he got a little time he'll learn, you know what I mean? But overall, they do give me that respect and I appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? Because like, because I was them, you know what I'm saying? It was a time where like I looked up to Homicide and Low Key, you know what I'm saying? And all the other cats that came before me, you know what I mean? And then to be welcomed by them, you know what I'm saying? It was a big thing for me. So it's like now when these young cats, they give me my respect, you know, they come up and they want to know, they want some advice and all this and that. I appreciate that, you know? So yeah, they do give me that respect.
That's something I've noticed. Like when I first broke into the business, all the older Black vets, and Ali knows like all the old Black vets that I know, Viper, Cold Cash, Pharaoh, like all of our older Black vets in the North Carolina, Virginia area, like they gave us no help whatsoever. Like there's still a bunch of other Black wrestlers that I hold a lifelong grudge against because I went to them and messaged them on like Facebook and even MySpace for advice. So they like completely no-sold me. Mm-hmm. But I've noticed with these younger Black wrestlers, when it comes to guys in our demographic, I guess, guys who with our experience, like we're the old uncle or we're the granddad, you know what I'm saying? We're like, hey, Unc, hey, can you give me advice for this? Hey, can you look out for me? You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't know if they had if it was the same in the Midwest, I mean, in the Northeast as it was down here in the South.
Right. Like I said, man, like I said, it's some sprinkled here and there, but overall, they're respectful up there. You know what I mean? I guess it's like people are tired of like allowing like people to get into their heads and steer them in the wrong direction. So they I don't know, they just listen now. They listen. You know?
Did you have any Black vets? Because I know Ali has Michael Devine, but did you have any?
me, yeah, I did, and it's a lot of cats like in the tri-state area that really they just like stay in that area for the most part. They got out a little bit, like cats like Ron Starr, cats like Charles Gregory. There was a tag team up here when I broke in called Crash Crew. You know what I'm saying? They were real big up here. So like Charles was like one of my first trainers. Ron Starr was my first mentor in the game. O-Dog, you know what I'm saying? O-Dog was a Jersey All-Pro. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these cats that came before me, they pulled me to the side from the very beginning and like and broke things down for me. You know what I'm saying? And like from the time I started, you know, up to now, I can always go to them. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely did have a lot of old heads that looked out for me, definitely.
I want to take the moment to shout out my old head on this call, Ali Steele, who was the only Black vet in the state of North Carolina to give a fuck other than Nemesis.
Really? But
what came to the house?
Shut up, Huckaby. When I came in, Ali was actually coming down and training with at C.W. Anderson's Cousins Training School every once in a while with Gorilla Squad. And I had just transferred there from RWC in Fayetteville. And when Ali found out there was a girl and a Black girl down at Dan's, he and the Gorilla Squad showed up, and he was one of the only people who really like would pull me to the side, would give me advice, would make me brave because I was very scared.
Do you remember the conversation that we had the first time that we met when you came to the house?
Yes, I do. I rode almost 2 hours with Victor Andrews to go talk to Ali and to sit under his learning tree.
I told her off gate. First thing I walked out, I said, listen, because I looked at her, I saw Ronnie, and I said, okay, I see what this is. I said, she can be phenomenal, you know what I'm saying? But let me ask you this one question. You want to you want to show ass and tits, or you want to hurt some people?
I asked her the same thing, Ali. See, Barrington and G's, y'all met the very nice older Roni Nicole. I met the Roni Nicole that said, Huck, you don't know what it's like to be a black woman in wrestling. You can't tell me anything.
No.
Hey, when I asked her that, when I asked her that, she said straight up, she said, I wanna hurt people. I wanna fight. Like, it is what it is. After that, Ronnie came out.
I met
you met who, Huck? Who did you meet?
I met the you can't tell me nothing about being a black woman in wrestling, Will.
Well, you couldn't at the time.
Oh, she'll still tell me that now. Like,
I'm like, that ain't changed.
Because also, like, y'all have the experience of, as black men, we have the same thing. But the thing is, with y'all still have a chance. You know what I mean? I'm here in North Carolina. Who are you, a fat black woman, trying to tell me, a cisgendered white man in the South, what makes sense and how to tell a story? That was literally how my reputation started. And then I had one poor match with a name who was out further than me because she was second generation.
I remember that match.
And this young lady, okay,
bitch.
I'm not doing it with you. Okay. This young lady went up north and slaughtered my name and told everyone I was a shooter and I tried to hurt her and I was difficult to work with and all this and that. And I could not get booked in New York and New Jersey and PA for 2 full years. And when a promoter was finally brave enough to tell me why, because I honestly was getting so frustrated of getting left on red, CW advised me not to, but I did it anyway. I was like, why am I not getting booked? Why do you keep reading my messages and not responding? He was like, that's not going to be a professional way to deal with it. I was young and at a point where fuck this shit. And I wanted to know. The promoter told me that this young lady had spoken to them because they wanted to bring me in and recommended that they did not, because I had injured her in North Carolina and that I had been very difficult to work with and that the promoters in North Carolina didn't want to work with me either. So they shouldn't bother with bringing me up north. I have these messages saved with, that put a very big damper in my entire career. So much so that's literally why I left. It was either quit wrestling here or leave the country. And I was fortunate enough that Japan saw me and was like, we want you. And I honestly don't think that would have happened if it hadn't been for Aja and Amazing Kong, because they were big Black women who opened the door for big Black women to go there and be received and respected. Because honestly, I felt more at home and more loved in Japan than I've ever felt wrestling in the States. And it was literally just because I didn't want to be taken advantage of. I didn't want to wrestle for $5, especially if I was driving 3 hours and spending $18 on gas. And I didn't want to be in a situation where the story that I'm telling is that two-dimensional bullshit, because a lot of times I do feel like it's the whole minstrel show shit. They want us to sing and dance and shuck and jive and be happy with the crumbs and not be the multifaceted, multidimensional people that we actually are. And that's, different as a woman, but I've also come to understand that fear holds a lot of people down. And fear holds a lot of people. Our white counterparts, terrible transition, by the way. I'm not that chick angel. I can't. Okay, we're playing Wrestling Jeopardy. I hope everybody has their thinking hats on, that you guys are up on your wrestling trivia, history, and facts. You better know the WrestleMania matches, because that's going to be in there. Okay? Why is that? Okay, it won't be that bad. I promise, it won't be that bad. But we are playing, we're playing for keeps. We're playing for keeps. So we've got 2 things on the line. There is a $25 gift certificate for you, the wrestler, to a restaurant of your choosing. And then there is a $25 donation to a philanthropic organization of your choosing. And the reason that we're doing this is because of everything I do in real life. I'm the cultural arts director for the George Floyd Memorial Center. I am the political education working group co-chair, as well as on the core team for Fed Up. I work with Raise Up, Women's International League for Peace and Freedom in Cobra. So I do a lot of philanthropy, and I want people to do the same and to connect with those organizations that are meaningful to you. So the winner of this game will have a donation made in their name to that organization of their choice, as well as the gift card. And so we're gonna play Wrestling Jeopardy. Big shout out, rest in peace, Alex Trebek. I can't believe he's gone, guys. Honestly, I grew up with that man. Mustache, no mustache, goatee briefly. He always made me feel so smart. But we're going to play Wrestling Jeopardy. Are you guys ready for this?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
All right. So this is, everybody go on mute. Okay. Sorg, I'm going to need your help. And also big shout out to Sorg, who is producing again Sunday Sessions Volume 2. We love you, Sorg, and Sorgatron Media. But Sorg, I need you to keep an eye on people who come off mute as well. Okay, so that I can make sure it's fair. All right, can you guys see the screen? Yes. Okay, so we're gonna say team 1. That's gonna be you, Ali, okay? Team 2, that's gonna be you, G's. So make sure you remember your what your team name is. All right, Barrington, you are team 3. All right, and saving the somewhat okay for last. You're gonna be team 4, okay? So everybody remember who and what you are, okay? So I'm gonna pick just because it's gonna be easier that way, and it'll be easier to say who's gonna come off. Can you guys see the categories? Hold on, I wanna make sure you can see them. Okay, so the categories are, we have moves, like Jaeger. You guys get it? It moves like Jagger, but okay, I'm not gonna go into it. I thought it was clever. And then you're going to tell what the move is, okay? For L-I-K-E, all of the answers are gonna start with an L, an I, a K, or an E. For Jaeger, this is going to be something alcohol related, okay? But it's wrestling and alcohol related. For general, that could be your general wrestling question. And then for versus, it's not like the awesome versus that we watch. By the way, Bone Thugs and 3-6 was so good. This is going to be the match. So you have to give who actually won the match. And to make it easier, I do tell you the WrestleMania that it's from to try to help you out. Okay? All right. Ali, you look so stressed. It's going to be awesome. Don't worry. It's going to be so fun. Okay? All right. Sorg is on it. So Sorg, I'm gonna rely on you to tell me who unmutes first. So I'm watching you in chat, okay? All right, guys. So we're gonna start with general for 100. All right, everybody ready? All right. This person coined the phrase, "Can you smell?" Who was it, Sorg? Who came off mute first? Okay.
Come on. Come on. It was me. Come on, Sorg.
Okay. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Ali, go.
7.
Barrington, go.
7.
Ali said 7. Barrington, what do you say?
No, Ali said 9.
Yeah.
Okay, Barrington says
Barrington
7. Ali says 9. Huck, what do you say?
4.
Okay, and G.
6.
Okay, it actually was 4.
Bam.
So,
who is The Rock?
all right. Who is Rocky? 4. So that point will go to you. Oh, wait, no, that's not minus. Okay, there we go. Plus. There we go. My bad. Can I take points from you now? No, I won't do that. Actually innovated by Kyoko Inoue under the name Victoria Driver. Who was it, Sorg? I saw Barrington, but I don't know. Yes, Barrington, go.
It is the Burning Hammer. What is the Burning Hammer?
Oh, Nice. All right. You guys are doing really good at this. I was actually thinking the questions were going to be harder. How you doing over there, Ali? Doing okay? You having doing pretty good? Okay.
I'm not even going to tell you what I was going to say.
Jesus. Can we do versus for 200?
Versus for 200. Okay. Yokozuna versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 10. Who was it, Sorg? I saw Huck, but I don't want to say that. Yep. Okay. Huck.
Who is Yokozuna? Because Hulk Hogan came in afterwards. He's like, go, Hulk, go. Yeah, I remember that on the battleship.
Oh!
What? It was not Bret Hart.
Yokozuna won WrestleMania 9, Bret won 10.
Oh,
sorry, Huck. You are
who
now
remembers WrestleMania 10? Really?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Me and you don't.
What?
Obviously, we don't. Yeah. I don't remember them having a second match whatsoever.
Yeah. So
Okay.
It was,
who hasn't picked a category? Because we got wrong, so I'm just gonna go. Geez, pick one, please.
Let's go with moves for 400.
All right, moves for 4. This move's creation is credited to Taka Michinoku. Who was it, Sorg? You guys have to go on mute and then unmute. Barrington, give me 1 minute.
Because you weren't.
Okay.
all right.
Glad it was a pause.
Right. So let's do Jaeger for 300.
Okay. Jaeger for 3. Owns Terramana Tequila. Who was it, Sorg?
Damn it.
Huh.
Who is The Rock?
That is
That's a pretty
question.
Great coming off you, though.
I would like to say it's a pretty shitty tequila. Don't feel bad, guys. It's a pretty shitty tequila.
Is it not good?
It's not good whatsoever.
Oh, for real? I wanted to try it. It's not worth it?
No, but you should definitely try proper 12.
It's all right. Try it, man. It's all right. It's not. Right.
Is it smooth, or is it like I just drank tequila and now my butthole knows?
No, it's
nah. It's actually okay, but people that drink tequila are like, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go with the Don Julio. You know what I mean?
But, always go with Zon. Okay.
But hey, geez, I will recommend Proper 12, which is Conor McGregor's whiskey. I will recommend that.
I'm gonna try that.
All right. Let me do
more of an attitude for me.
Let me do Jaeger for 400.
All right, Jaeger for 4. Inspired a little bit of the bubbly brand champagne. Who was it?
Oh, come on. I was faster than you that time, Sorg. Hey, Sorg, this is a conspiracy, bro.
Who is Chris Jericho?
Who is Chris Jericho is correct. Way to go, Barrington. Juice, you doing okay over there? Are you?
Sorry, Jeez.
I'm not doing all. Hey, Hughes, we're gonna have a talk, bro.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we need you guys to get on the board. All right, Barrington, your pick.
All right. Let's do LIKE for 200.
All right, LIKE for 200. Johan Josefsson is a master grappler from this country. Gotcha, bitches. Yes. Hughes, who is it? Or where?
Where is Lithuania?
Incorrect. Yes. I threw some hard ones in there, guys. You know,
Iceland has wrestling?
Yes, dude. They actually have a special type of wrestling that was only practiced in Iceland like way back in the day. And this guy was like the father of it and had like a bunch of matches back in like, what was it, 18 something? Gotch style. You know, wearing the little
I gotta brush up
you said what,
then. I gotta brush up on my history a little bit more.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Hey, take his points away. Take his points away. The hell with that. Hey, take his points away. That's all I care about.
What?
They were already deducted.
Minus 200.
They was already deducted.
He got the minus. He got the minus, Huck. Jeez. Okay. Ali, y'all got time to get on the board. Let's do this. Okay.
Working on it.
All right. Now, Ali, you get to pick because he got that wrong and you haven't picked any categories. So this is your time to shine.
We're going to do general for 500.
All right. General for 5. Chief Lone Eagle was not indigenous, but what other ethnicity? Do, 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 do. Y'all don't really know? You know, you could just guess. Do you guys need a hint? No? Okay. Barrington said no hint. Y'all better not Google either. I see too much moving around. Geez, who is it? Go.
All right. When is it? All right. So hold up. Is this you asking for the ethnicity or the
That they
name?
actually were. So yeah. So Chief Lone Eagle, he wasn't actually Native American. The guy
All right.
who actually was. What was the guy who was portraying him? What ethnicity was he?
What is Italian?
What is Mexican?
See, Ronnie, if
you know what?
who,
You know what?
I
I meant to say what is Mexican.
hey, Ronnie, if you ask, hey, Ronnie, if you asked me who was what was J Eagle, I could have got that one.
Yeah. No.
If you said
I knew it hard.
what ethnicity is J Eagle? I'm like, oh, I got that one. He's a white guy. It's a white dude from South Carolina. I know him.
Okay, Ali, I'm gonna let you pick again since G's got that wrong and everybody else is on the board except for you. So I'm gonna let you go again.
We'll do moves for 300.
Okay, moves for 300. Made popular by Gotch, this move was once a match finisher. Who was it, Sorg? I see people off mute already, so I can't tell.
Come on.
There were people who weren't muted. So
hold on, man. Is he about to say because I don't think Barrington was already muted.
I'm going to pick because y'all both unmuted at the same time. And I saw that on my screen.
Sorg
is saying that it was
give him the opportunity
a tie
to get it
between.
wrong. I will give him the
between-
opportunity to get it wrong. That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
You said what, Hughes?
I'll give him the opportunity to get it wrong. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Hughes is bequeathed the answer to who? G's or Huck? Hughes. Barrington.
Geez.
Okay, G's. Who is it?
What is the power driver?
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Hughes hasn't look. Hey,
appreciate you, Hughes, my man. Hughes,
you have officially been repaid. I ain't gonna ask for nothing else for the rest of the
All right. So as of right now, Ali, you're not on the board, but that's okay. Things can still change. We've got G's.
Hey, I officially have more points than number 2.
That's actually true. G's, you were
That's
negative
true.
200 points.
That's true.
That was why I bowed out.
We working on it. We working on it.
G's is currently
still plenty of game left to play. It's all right.
Barrington is winning, and Huck, you're doing all right. I feel so. Okay, who just got that right?
I did.
She's got it right.
All right, so let's go with let's stay with moves for 200.
Moves for 2. Okay. This high flying move used to exit the ring is popular in lucha style wrestling. Ali?
Is it a plancha? What is a plancha?
What is a tope? Tope suicide is what we were looking for.
I was gonna say dive. Does dive count?
No, that does not count.
That would be a plancha, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be a plancha.
Sorry, Ali. Okay. Barrington, since you were highest score, you get to pick.
Okay. Let's go general 200.
All right, general for 2. This person was Mullah's first Black student. Barrington, you were already unmuted, but so make sure you mute and then unmute.
No, I muted. I muted and unmuted.
Oh, you already know? Who is it?
Sweet Georgia Brown. Or who is Sweet Georgia Brown? Excuse me.
Killing it!
No, Ronnie. I'm calling foul. He did not answer that in the form of a question.
Oh, did he say?
I didn't. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm giving my points. I'm giving my points to Ali.
Can we do that?
No, you can't give him his point. You have to take away points.
No, I gave him to
Barrington,
Ali
don't do
because he
that.
said that's what he wanted. So
Because guess what? I was gonna say Michael Devine.
Dog.
He is cheating, Ronnie.
yo,
hey, I didn't know if it was the first Black or the last Black. I didn't know because he was trained by her. So
he
I
was trained by her. Yes.
I didn't
Michael
know.
Devine was trained by Moolah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, dude. He was like one of her last few students.
Holy shit.
And
What?
he
That makes
did work
Michael
for
Devine, what,
WWE.
like 72?
Stupid.
I wish I could put you on mute.
Okay. So you gave your points to Ali. Does that mean you want to give his picking turn, or do you still want to take the turn to pick, Barrington?
He can pick as well.
Okay. Ali, go ahead and pick.
Boy, that Barrington boy, he's a class act.
Class act all the way.
He's a class act. Let's do LIKE for 500, please.
All right, LIKE for 500. Remember, it'll start with one of these letters, okay? This wrestler was the oldest of 3 brothers and famous in the 1940s and the 1950s. Why are you looking like that? Yes, Barrington.
Who is Kaniski?
No, I'm looking for Enrique Torres.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Huck, don't. Huck, you're still low on the board. Okay, so play nicely.
Hey,
All
I don't
right,
have to answer the questions right as long as he keeps answering them wrong.
Okay, so you got
Huck
that.
is a true heel.
Oh, through and through. Through and through. Yes. Bell pepper nose and all. Full of mirth. Geez, I'll allow you to pick next.
But let's go with LIKE for 400.
All right, LIKE for 4. This wrestler was known as the Russian Bear. Geez, who is that?
Who is Ivan Koloff? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir! Jesus on the board.
I
Jeezy.
pressed the wrong daggone button, man.
Jeezy, who are you? 1?
2. Team 2.
2. Okay. There we go. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm on the board now.
Hey, geez, she was trying to give me your points, bro. And I appreciated the point. We kind of,
Hey, Barrington, I'm coming for you, bro.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You're gonna die tired. Don't do it.
Again, everybody
let's go with LIKE for 300.
All right, LIKE for 3. This wrestler is the founder of Reality of Wrestling, and please remember it has to start with the letter. So your answer has to be right. Jeezy, do you know?
I thought I did, but I don't.
Remember, it has to start with LIK or E. No one?
Nigga, we all thought it was Booker T, homie.
I know, that's what I thought.
King.
Oh,
it has to start with LIK.
So that was actually a hint. She actually gave us a hint, bro. Yeah, I know. All right, yo, so I agree with you, bro. I agree with you.
Oh, boo you. You're
a horrible,
you know my heel. I don't care.
Host, boo.
That was a swerve.
Hey, Ronnie,
you are the heel.
Ronnie, boo.
Oh, Sorry. You guys, come on. This is like Squid Game. Come on. I'm gonna swerve you. All right. All right. Ali, pick. And we're gonna do 2 more so that we can stay on track with time.
I'm gonna go Jaeger for 500, please.
All right, Jaeger for 5. Prefers red wine to bourbon, according to his Drink to Drink interview in July of 2015. Let me give you a hint. He's very tall. And he's still pretty jacked, even though he's an old dude. And I can't, because I'll give it away. His last name rhymes with hash.
We all know who it is now.
It was me, first of all. I
think Huck went off mute first. I saw that.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna verify. Yes. Sorg is also saying Huck. Who is it, Huck?
Who is Nash?
There we go.
And you know why I know that, Ronnie?
Why?
Because I tried to give him some of my moonshine at WrestleCade a few years ago, and he only drinks red wine.
So your peer pressure.
Yes.
Alcohol is what helps you with this.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, Huck. Okay, we'll do 2 more. So you pick the last one, or pick the second to last one.
Second to last one. Let me get verses for 100.
All right, verses for 1. Hogan versus King Kong Bundy, WrestleMania 3. I saw Hughes come off, but I want to confirm with Sorg that it was Hughes and not G's because I can't see the screen at the same time. Is that correct, Sorg?
It was G's.
Okay. Sorg is saying he missed. I'm going to, because I saw Hughes, but I didn't see G's, I don't know. So G's and Hughes, pick a number between 1 and 10.
5.
Who said 5? Hughes, okay. And G's?
3.
It's 2. G's?
All right. Who is Hulk Hogan?
Who is Hulk Hogan is correct. All right. G's, where were you? 2? Yeah.
But wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna contest that question. I'm gonna contest that question. That's the wrong WrestleMania.
Oh?
That's a trick question.
It is the wrong WrestleMania.
Did not compete at WrestleMania 3. They competed at WrestleMania 2.
It is.
Okay.
It is. WrestleMania 3 is Hogan versus
Andre.
Yeah.
Because I typed a 2 instead of a 3 in my haste to make the game, no one gets any points.
That's bullshit. All right, I'll pick. Okay.
Right, exactly. So that is the answer for like 3 Mania.
All right, so who picked that one? No, who picked it originally?
We did. I did.
Yeah, so pick again.
All right, let me get moves for 100.
All right, finishing moves for 100. This move utilizes the arm and the pectoral as the means to bump the opponent with force. Huck.
What is a clothesline?
Bitch, bump with force. That's a lariato. Oh.
I want to contest. I want to contest. I want to contest that. There's a difference between a lariat and a clothesline.
And the lariat is the one where you force the clothesline.
No,
they're not
the same.
They're not the same. There's a difference.
I know. Yes, that's why this answer is lariat.
No. The difference between a lariat and a clothesline is placement.
Okay, placement and
okay.
Because keeping in mind, I'm going Japanese style. If
the
person has to bump for you,
I've made a career on a lariat.
No.
Not a clothesline.
Clotheslines from hell It's still a clothesline. It's a strong ass clothesline.
No,
The fourth is
No.
That's the wrong
It's
name.
hilarious.
But anyway, I don't
It's
care if
hilarious.
he's on WWE or not. It's the
The
wrong.
difference.
Stan
No.
Hansen did not throw a clothesline.
He
No.
He
did
threw
Larry.
a lariat.
But the
Now,
difference between a
Nikita
lariat,
Koloff threw a clothesline.
excuse me, the difference between a clothesline and a lariat is placement.
There's multiple differences.
No,
The
there's
one
only
I'm
one.
No,
focusing
it's
on
not
for
just
this
one.
question.
It's not just one. It's placement.
So,
It's
right.
follow through.
Who-
It's force. There's multiple. No,
So-
you're wrong.
I think it was still no.
No,
Huck,
no,
Huck,
no.
Huck. I love you. I love you.
I don't.
For this question, I was focusing on the one aspect that goes into the move itself, and that was whether the person has to bump or not. And with a clothesline, the person's taking their own bump. With a lariat, you are physically causing them to bump. So, for this
Clothesline, you frame the face. A lariat is pectoral, framing the face, follow through,
No.
going to
that's
the
why pectoral
Excuse
is
me.
in the,
No, because a lariat is high. The difference.
I'm just gonna take these points away for arguing. How about that?
I mean, might as well at this point. You thought you were gonna win.
Who did get
No,
it correct?
because a lariat is all arm.
Huh,
No,
lariat is
it's
not
not.
all
No,
arm.
it is not.
That's not right, T. Be
It
heard.
is
That's not even a
true.
lariat.
A clothesline is almost all arm. Nikita Koloff does a clothesline.
No,
Hulk Hogan.
Hansen did a lariat. Look
a
at him.
clothesline.
Kawaki did a lariat.
Joe, how you doing over there, Huck?
A clothesline is shoulder and is arm and chest. A clothesline is a shoulder tackle with your arm. A lariat is all arm.
Now,
No,
I'm
I
going
know
to tell
people.
you.
I
that
know
the way
people have
I
said
was
that,
taught
but
to-
a lariat is not all arm.
Yes,
Right.
it is.
No,
No.
it's not.
I know. I know you're looking at. Barry Windham's flying lariat.
No. If you
Because
look
he
at
does
Stan
throw
Hansen,
all
he is
arm.
all arm.
Stan Hansen
Uh,
ran people over.
Who got the question actually right?
Nobody gets the points, Ronnie.
Nobody gets the
There
point.
we
You
go.
just deduct the
I
points. from
still
Hulk.
win.
No, because
No.
you gotta get the points deducted. You didn't get the
So-
points deducted, so no.
Huck,
Well, there's
You
a
gotta
tie
do the right
between
thing
me
and take
and
that 100
Barrington.
from him.
you said
This
what?
is-
Hey,
Nope. You gotta do the right thing and take that 100 from him. Nope.
Okay, it's a tie between me and Barrington. We go to
That's
double
fine.
jeopardy.
But you ain't getting no win.
Final jeopardy.
Okay, this is the last one.
No,
Okay.
that was the last one.
No,
That
you were
was a-
second. You were second to last.
No.
Oh,
That was the last question.
That was the last
Your
one.
pick-
So it's me and, yes. So it's
Your
me and
pick
Barrington.
was second to last.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. You just don't want me to win.
I don't. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right. Versus for 5. Boo. Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle. Read all of that. It looked like Barrington.
It was not. It was me.
Who was it? Sorg, were you actually watching this time?
It was
it
Huck.
Huck?
Yes.
says Huck.
Son of a bitch. Fine.
Who is Kurt Angle? Was it Kurt Angle? It was Brock Lesnar? All I remember who won that match. All I remember was the fucking shooting star press.
Oh, wow. How did this work out for you, Huck?
I don't know.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wow, how the turns are tabled. Wow.
My, how
All I
the
remember was the bot
turntables
shooting
turn.
star press. That's it. That's all I remember. The bot shooting star
For real.
press.
This went just like a heavyweight championship match.
Congratulations to the winner. I am not surprised.
I am. I got cheated in the last question.
No, you didn't.
You will
No, you didn't.
receive the $25 gift card as well as $25 to an organization of your choosing. I will definitely get with you to get those details, but congratulations. Rolling quickly because we've got to wrap this up, guys, but I do want to touch on this very last topic. Something we've all experienced, something that we're all familiar with. All skin folk ain't kin folk.
Ooh.
And we know that is true in life, as we have seen the Omarosas and the Ben Carsons in our political system, but in
The
wrestling,
GCW for the cultures.
Fuck.
Hey, you said you want the real. I'll be real. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about GCW for the culture?
Just go.
Can we talk about GCW for the culture? We can't.
Just do it. Just go.
I'm just saying. You said all skin folk ain't kinfolk. I'm just saying. Can we say that GCW is not really for the culture?
Well, now
I mean,
are we
really
speaking?
are
we speaking about the organization, because we know that GCW is not run by a person of color, or are we speaking about the individual who runs this particular portion of GCW that conveniently pops up every once in a while?
Yes, let's just talk about that show where it's not representative of the whole culture, but just those wrestlers who are very popular in the black wrestling Twitterverse. Can we talk about that?
I mean, I guess we already are. Get into it.
I mean, I'm just saying, you can't say that your show is for the culture when you ain't got people who actually represent the culture on your show. When you got a bunch of Sambos and I'm not gonna say Uncle Tom's, because if you read the book Uncle Tom's Cabin, you realize Uncle Tom was the most gangster person in the book, and that he did what he did so other people could survive and so the slaves could be free. That's for all you ignorant people who don't read. I'm actually cultured. But for all pickaninnies and lawn jockeys and kiss asses and Samuel Jacksons and Django, what was his name? What was his name of Django? Samuel Jackson.
I don't remember his
Steven,
character.
Jonathan. Steven. It was Steven.
His name was Steven, the overseer, and Django.
Yeah. From Django. I got to. Huh?
It was really Steven.
Yes.
That's a terrible name.
I'm just saying, for all of y'all who are like part of the culture but not really part of the culture, you can't say this is for the culture and not have us who've represented the culture for decades and not give us our due. You can't say, oh, this is for all black people, but not have real black people on the show. It's just your Twitter buddies. You know what I'm saying? The ones that are.
What do you mean? Because we get that a lot. What do you mean by?
I mean, like you only have black wrestlers who are approved by white people.
Safe blacks.
They're safe. They're the safe corporate white people, or they're the white. Or they're the black people who make white people laugh.
Well, let's get into it.
I'm just saying that because I was told I would never be on the For the Culture show, and I'm the most ninja of all ninjas in all of ninjadom.
I can agree that you are mayor, emperor, and CEO of Ninjadom Incorporated and Ninjadom.
The only other person that might be taking my crown is the Ninja Taker.
We love Ninja Taker. He has elevated wrestling in so many creative.
But seriously though, I'm just saying you can't have a show that says for the culture, but you don't have the people who laid the groundwork for you young black people to actually wrestle. You can't have a for the culture show and you don't have a Black G's or Ruckus on the show. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a for the culture show and you don't have any historic older black wrestlers who've been in the business for 30, 40 freaking years. You can't say this is for the culture, but you don't honor the pioneers. You just honor the people, or you just want your little blow buddies who are popular on Twitter because you haven't done your history. If we're gonna be real, let's be real. G's, Ali, Barrington, tell me if I'm wrong. You see these shows, they have all these black wrestlers, and you're like, who are these kids? Oh, that's your friend on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be 100.
Hey, I'm gonna be real with you, Huck. I've seen a lot of guys, a lot of these young dudes, young black guys, and I'll go to these shows, and some shows will be crossing over and people that I haven't seen and they're new and all that stuff, but I know that they're out there and they're pretty good. But they look at me like, oh, who is that? Or oh man, he's been in the business for a minute. But they always look at me instead of coming and speaking and oh, what's up, man? How you doing? It's always looking at me kind of like they can't associate with me.
Let's look. I'm gonna prove it to you right now, Ali. Hey, G's, when you came to Atlanta, and that locker room was 97% black. Besides myself and maybe one or two other black wrestlers, how many other black wrestlers came up and gave you your due?
I remember, bro.
What was it? More than 5?
I don't think it was more than 5.
Wow.
Exactly.
I don't think it was.
Exactly, Barrington. You have black G's in the locker room and no
Like,
other. And literally, there was 17 black wrestlers on that show.
yeah, I remember. Like, I remember you came up, Shield came up. I think AC Mack came up. I think I don't really remember a lot, you know. Unless I'm drawing a blank, but yeah.
But they want us to say this is for the culture, but you know what I'm saying? They don't give honor to the culture. They don't represent the culture.
You know what? But you know what, though, Huck? I think a lot of these guys now, especially the ones that have come out in the past 5 or 6 years, they don't understand what it was like to be black sitting in a locker room. You know what I'm saying? Because I can tell you, I've never pitched, I never fetched. Everything that I've gotten in this business, I kind of had to take it. You know, it was kind of where the Gorilla Squad. Yeah, it was kind of where the Gorillas came from. Because I was like, look, they didn't want all of us. They still don't like the Gorilla Squad, but they can't deny us. You see what I mean? Because as long as you put your matches together, as long as you do business, as long as you do what do the things that you need to do in there. If you're a heel, get that face over. If you're a face, get yourself over, and then make your heel look good. As long as you do the things that you're supposed to do, they cannot deny you. They can hate on you, but then they wind up doing like you said. They go back behind your back. They say stuff like, he's difficult, he's an asshole, he has an ego, he doesn't like to do business. But then once they get in the ring with you, they understand, oh, he'll do business and he will make me look good. But then the people that actually, the blogs and these people that are on Twitter and all these other spots that actually push all this stuff out, like these awards and everything else, you never get mentioned, you don't get any names. You know, I'm at that point now, man. I'm just trying to make whoever I can touch better.
Like this is my topic right here, man. I'm so passionate about this because I see, I guess, as that middle generation of like coming in at 2005, 2006. So it's like I was trained by the old territory and attitude era guys, but I'm still young enough to hang out with these new age kids. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm super passionate about giving guys like you, Ali, and UGs and Ruckus and everybody else their props. Because it's like, if it wasn't for you guys, there would be no me, there would be no Barrington Hughes, there would be no what's his name? No, there would be no black wrestlers on TV. There'd be no Sean Dean or no Carly Bravo. There would be no, Private Party. Like, these young black wrestlers don't realize that. You know what I'm saying? They don't realize that.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, finish your thought.
I mean, they just don't realize, like, without the guys that came in the early 2000s that's not getting the props and the recognition that they deserve now, they wouldn't be able to do what they do.
Right. And I do think that there's a big issue with other Black wrestlers, because I forget who mentioned it in the beginning, who won't help and won't reach out, because just like whoever said, I think it was you, Huck, you sent a lot of messages in the beginning of your career to try to connect with wrestlers who were your vets, and they went on, seen. And the same thing happened to me. I know the same thing happened to me, and we are going to have to wrap soon because we're way over time. But I will say that paying it forward and making sure that you open those doors, and that you, as a wrestler of color, as a Black wrestler, whatever you identify as in, this marginalized community, that you are aware of who opened the door for you, and that you also open the door for someone else, because it is not, there's only so many seats at the table. Because we are not a monolith and we are all so unique and so different, there are multiple seats for us to sit at a very large table and share in this beautiful, brutal art that we all love and participate in, and really want our lives to be, enriched by, because we didn't just start wrestling for no reason. We fell in love with this art. We fell in love with this sport because of how it made us feel and how connected we felt to the stories that were being told and portrayed in front of us. And it is the hope that through conversations like this, through the new generation of wrestlers, through these veterans that I'm speaking with now, who keep speaking out and who keep opening doors and helping these other generations realize our history is so much broader than what is shared with us, that our connection to wrestling is so much deeper than is what is shown to us and shared with us. Even the guys on this call said they learned something, and that is beautiful. But it's also sad that we don't even know about our own wrestling history as Black wrestlers, and that is not touted and celebrated in the same way, as the Gotchas and the Flairs, when we have been here, just as long, and if not longer. We won't even go into lamb wrestling in Nigeria, which is a totally different thing, but has been around since, the beginning of time. Ancient wrestling traces back to Sumerian times. And of course, with the motherland, we've always been connected to this. So I want to say thank you guys. I'm so sorry that we couldn't dive into that a little bit more. And I want to give everybody a second to plug your stuff where you are, starting with Ali, and then we will move on down the line. So we'll go Ali, Huck, Barrington, and G's, and then G's send it back to me and we'll close out.
Yep.
All right, quick. I'm on all social medias except for Twitter under _Steele. So if anybody wants to contact me or continue any kind of talks or just reach out, say what's up, man. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for under _Steele. That's about all.
Find me on Facebook, William Huckaby, Twitter, WA Huckaby, Instagram, and TikTok, because my kids got me into TikTok. So I'm like William Huckaby on TikTok and Instagram. For all you people that say, "Oh, I support Black wrestlers," look up my tag team, the All-Star Special, on look us up on all social media and stuff, man. We got t-shirts, shot glasses, etc. February 12th is myself and Hold My Beer Hansen gonna be at Viral Pro Wrestling. Just celebrate my Sweet 16 in pro wrestling, man. So I think as wrestlers go, I'm getting old, Ali. I'm getting to that upper echelon, man. Sweet 16, baby.
Hey, you getting there, man. I'm 21 in. You good. You still look good, bro.
I'm on most social medias, under Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, BH Doom with 3 O's, BHDOOOM, whatamaneuver.net/collection/Barrington Hughes for all my merch. Follow me on Twitch under It's Hughesy for my gaming stuff if you're interested in gaming. I do look to be returning to the ring in the near future once I get some final logistics sorted out, but I am definitely looking forward to celebrating going into my 11th year in the professional wrestling business, elevating and promoting the status of Black wrestlers as a whole. Jeez.
All right, you can check me out on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Everything is Jeez215, JEEZ215. You can catch me at NWA on February the 12th in Oak Grove, Kentucky. At the end of February, I'll be celebrating 22 years in the game. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long road. Appreciate that. March 5th, catch me in Jersey for On Point Wrestling. March 12th, catch me in Queens, New York for NEW Wrestling. Also in March, some NWA tapings coming up in March. Appreciate you for having me on this, Ronnie. Appreciate getting on here with all you good brothers. You know what I mean? It was a good time. Love to do it again.
Absolutely. And thank you, G. Thank you,
man.
Ali. Thank you, Huck, and thank you, Barrington. I really appreciate all of you as my vets and everything that you've poured into me and my career. Ali, I still utilize the write down what your character is, and I pass that on to everyone I talk to because that's what you taught me. I want to thank you guys for joining in for Sunday Sessions, Volume 2, Episode 5. You have watched some dynamic conversation. Please make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe my channel, as well as all the socials for these guys who are on. I'm Roni Big Bang Nicole, the Joshi Queen Supreme. Find me on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. This was Sunday Sessions, Episode 5, and we will see you guys for Episode 6. Peace, love, and wrestling.